Hey, house guests, give me 1 second. Oh no, I forgot to give Bowie his treat. I just want to make sure I give this to him because we have an agreement. Every time we do a stream, he gets to have a little treat. So, hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Paul and Mimi Iams. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So, thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below or description. It's only $1 for a holla. And I also want to mention, if you guys are looking to get the live feeds, we do have a link for Paramount Plus as well in the description. And if you use our link, it helps us out. So we got a lot to talk about today. I know the last few days have been like super boring, nothing going on, but they're trying to make up for that, I guess. There's been a lot of game talk the last 24 hours or so. So let's get into it. So. When we left off yesterday, we had Mackenzie versus Cedric versus Rubina up on the block. One of them will be coming off the block because of the AI Arena competition. We're not going to know who that is until Thursday night's episode. And let's face it, Mackenzie is in trouble if she doesn't win that competition. I mean, I think she's got a good shot at winning, though. Honestly, anybody could win that competition. But I do think that Mackenzie's going to have a good chance. Also, yesterday we talked about how Angela was pretty much begging to be part of an alliance with Tucker, Chemo, T-Core, and Rubina. She was like, please, I don't care if I'm at the bottom of this alliance. Just let me be a part of it. It made me so sad. So she just wants to play this game. So Tucker seemed all for it. Like he legit wants to work with Angela. Everyone else, not so much. They didn't have a ton to say during that whole ordeal. But I have to say, people cannot keep their mouths shut this season. Tucker told Joseph all about this. T-Core was telling Chemo that she wants to bring Brooklyn and Chelsea in on this. No. I'm so sick of T-Core being obsessed with wanting to work with Brooklyn and Chelsea. They are loyal to the Pentagon. Wake up. You know about this Pentagon alliance because of Quinn. You've never heard a peep about it from Chelsea or Brooklyn. That should tell you something. But yeah, we'll get there. So we also know there is a new twist coming soon. We got suckered into watching that recap show last night based on the promise that we would find out what this new twist is. But in reality, they only told us the name and that it would have something to do with America's vote. So the name is AI Instigator. A lot of people are speculating maybe it's going to be some sort of like a saboteur situation. I don't know. Whatever. I'll just wait until Thursday. I'm not going to waste my energy speculating over it. So we're going to find out during Thursday's episode. Watch it be in like the last 2 seconds again, and we don't get much. But anyway, there was some excitement yesterday afternoon. Rubina had a really bad headache all day, and Tucker was trying to work on her neck to make her feel better. And he was doing some like chiropractor shit with a towel. Let's note, he is not a chiropractor. So Big Brother told him, stop that multiple times. I'm talking like at least 3 times. And they were like, is that for us? Yeah, because that's really dangerous. So we did not get to see this next part, but some of the house guests were talking about it. So luckily we got a retell of what happened. Tucker went on a major rant. He was like, I shouldn't have taken myself off the block. I should have just gone home to my normal life with my dog. But we're going to have the wall competition this week, and I'm going to win that. So I'm going to be here for 2 more weeks and blah, blah, blah. And then talking about how they treat everybody like children in there. They can't even play piggyback or tag like normal 5-year-olds do. And then he starts going off about how he's been getting his back cracked since he was 15 years old. And he says, I'm best friends with the best chiropractor in New York City. You don't think I can crack an effing neck? You can't be doing that. They can't have somebody doing freaking chiropractor adjustments when they're not licensed. Like, no, sometimes actual chiropractors even mess that up. You really think they're going to let you do that? What if, God forbid, something happened and Rubina was like really injured from that? Or what if you like broke her neck and she died? You can't be doing that. If anything, maybe they let Cam work on her a little bit, like on her neck, because he's a physical therapist. But even so, I don't think so. I think they're only going to let a medic do something like that because it's a liability issue. But Tucker was freaking out about it. He's always talking to like, I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. I've been modeling since I was 15, blah, blah, blah. What did we do before Tucker was 15? I don't know. All right. So then we did get some chats about the vote, a lot of different chats about the vote yesterday and today. At one point, Tucker was asking Mackenzie, how are you going to vote if you come off the block? And this, honestly, this conversation was really annoying. It was almost unhearable, right? Because she was drying her hair at the time and it was really hard to make out what they were saying. But she did say that she would vote out Cedric because she feels like he's the better competitor. And Tucker's like, yeah, right on. Love that. Tucker also brings up that he thinks that Brooklyn and Chelsea are playing both sides. This is something that's beginning to circulate around the house. Ooh, I felt that in my ears. Really bad thunderstorm out right now. But anyway, ooh, I got shook to the core. A lot of people are noticing that Brooklyn and Chelsea, number one, are super tight with each other, but number two, they're kind of like, making deals with a lot of different people, and they're very insulated all the way around. So Tucker is telling Mackenzie, we need to get something going. But at the same time, I feel like he doesn't want to start anything official with her until he knows for sure that she's going to be there, right? He wants to see if she's going to survive this vote. So he's not like setting anything up yet, but he's like, well, let's think about it. Like, let's get the thing in motion. Mackenzie seems to think that she'll have a better chance of staying if she's on the block next to Cedric. I don't think so. What? You're going home either way, but yeah. I mean, it's good to be optimistic for sure. All right. So then Chelsea and Leah touch base on the vote. And Chelsea says if it's Cedric versus Rubina, she wants to keep Cedric. Oh my God, what a big surprise. Chelsea would rather keep Cedric around. Cedric, one of her like top allies. This though, Leah is like, I'm thinking the same. So Leah is confusing because she is all over the place. Here she's saying that she wants to keep Cedric. I heard her say that a few other times. I've heard her say she wants to put out Mackenzie if Mackenzie's on the block. But like today, I heard Leah telling Rubina that she wants to keep her no matter what, whoever she's up against. So Leah is all over the place. She doesn't really have any alliances right now. So I think she's just waiting to see what happens here. Yeah. Brooklyn and Chelsea also had a chat about the vote. And Brooklyn is really hoping that it's not going to come down to Cedric versus Rubina on the block, because that's going to put her in a really tricky position, right? Because she's like, obviously, I'm going to keep Cedric. She would have to vote Rubina out, but that would blow her cover with the 5 Points Alliance. Just a reminder, the 5 Points Alliance is Tucker, Rubina, T-Core, Chemo, and Brooklyn. So again, like Brooklyn is kind of like the one that doesn't really fit in that alliance because she's so loyal to the Pentagon and the collective, whereas T-Core and Chemo are like, all right, when are we flipping? When are we leaving the collective? So yeah, Brooklyn is going to have to blow her cover if she's got to vote for Cedric to stay over Rubina. So she's like, I'm going to have to come up with some sort of excuse for why I voted Rubina out. But like, whatever excuse she has, it's not going to work. Tucker is already suspecting that she's playing both sides. So don't even waste your breath, baby girl. But Brooklyn really just wants to get Mackenzie out, right? She's hoping that Mackenzie will be on the block. So it's a nice, easy vote for her. And she can just stay under the radar, so she thinks, and continue to play both sides. But Brooklyn was also talking about her plans for next week. And first of all, she's hoping that the AI twist will be all done, right? No more 3 nominees, just back to 2. No more AI competition on eviction night. The reason why she wants this to end is so that they can backdoor Tucker, right? Everyone is terrified of how great of a competitor Tucker is. And they're like, if we keep having these AI competitions, there's no way we're going to get him out of here, because even if he's on the block on eviction night, he's just going to win his way out of it with the AI comp. So she really wants that to come to an end, which I think it will soon, probably. If not after this week, then after next week. I don't see it going longer than that. But she really wants to win HOH, and she says she would put Angela up with a strong competitor from their group, like Cam, because he hasn't been up yet. And Brooklyn, I mean, a bunch of them haven't been up yet, but Cam's one of the ones that has kind of volunteered to go up on the block a few times now. So she's like, yeah, I'll just put Angela up with Cam. He'll be strong in the veto competition. She is very confident that Angela would not win the veto. Excuse me, Brooklyn. How many competitions have you won? Because Angela has already won 2. Anyway, her hope is, of course, that someone from their group will win the power veto, use it on Cam, and then, or whoever goes up, and then Tucker would go up in his place, and they would vote Tucker out. Counterpoint, though, how amazing would it be if, like, Angela picked Tucker to play in the veto, Tucker wins, uses it on Angela, and then the Pentagon pawn, whoever it is voted out. That person would leave on Brooklyn's HOH. That sounds hilarious to me. So I could get down with that. But anyway, Joseph and Tucker have a check-in with each other, and Joseph is like, hey, I think you should get close with Mackenzie. I think she could be really good for your game. And Tucker's like, yeah, Mackenzie approached me about working together with Angela. And Tucker basically says if Mackenzie survives the week, then they can get that going, right? But he doesn't really want to set it up if she's not going to be around for much longer. So Joseph's like, cool. Can you make sure that Angela trusts me? Because I feel like she doesn't trust me. I think that Angela honestly would welcome an alliance with like anybody at this point, because she hasn't been able to put one together since the craziness of the first 2 weeks. So I'm sure she would be willing to work with Joseph if he approached her about it. But Tucker's like, yes, I will work on that for you, but I can't do it right now. I need to kind of like ease into it. But Tucker was talking about how Angela can really be a number for them. She could be another set of eyes. I don't know if you want to trust those eyes though, because how many times has she suspected somebody was doing one thing and then it was like just a total assumption from her and it was not the case? But anyway, plus Tucker points out that she can win mental competition. So like she is going to probably be able to win other competitions. So she is a valuable asset as long as she's on her best behavior. If she acts the way she did the first week, absolutely not. But the last few days, she's been fine. So yeah, Tucker seems to really want to work with Angela. And Joseph brings up Angela's going to be really loyal to Tucker because he used the veto on her, and she is so grateful for that. Correct. Okay. So Joseph also lets Tucker know, look, I'm sorry if it is Cedric versus Rubina up on the block. I'm not going to be voting Cedric out this week. He does say he would be open to getting rid of Cedric the week after, but Tucker's like, you know what? I'm cool with that. You still have to protect your game. It seems like these two feel like they are kind of like in charge of the opposite sides of the house, and secretly they're working together. So Tucker's telling him, you got to protect your game. That's not going to make me not trust you. You got to do what you got to do for right now. And Tucker says, even if Rubina goes, just stick with your gut. Oh, okay. I feel like Tucker is more concerned about this game than he is about Rubina, which he should be, but Rubina seems to be way more caught up in the whole showmance of it all. So anyway, Joseph brings up that he thinks that T-Court and Chemo would be willing to flip eventually on the collective, but he doesn't see them doing it this early. Correct. Right? Because eventually they do want to form this whole thing together to go up against the Pentagon, but he feels like the time has not come yet. They're not there yet. All right. So later, T-Core and Rubina are chatting in the storage room, and T-Core asks Rubina, "How are you feeling?" And Rubina's like, "I don't know. Sometimes I feel like chemo just like isn't rooting for me." Oh boy, here we go. So T-Core's like, "No, chemo is rooting for you. Like I can promise you that." You know what's funny? Chemo has really gone to bat for Rubina, but I feel like T-Core is ready to cut Rubina loose if it comes down to it. She's sick of this showman shit. Um, but Rubina brings up how Chemo has a huge crush on Tucker. And obviously, Rubina's got something going with Tucker. So she feels bad talking to Chemo about stuff that happens between her and Tucker. And she's like, I don't want this to become like a whole thing, like an issue between me and Chemo because I love Chemo. So T-Core admits, yeah, Tucker does cloud Chemo's judgment sometimes. Yeah, we've seen it in action. That is definitely true. But Rubina is going on and on about how she's trying to make sure that Tucker is not clouding her judgment, right? She wants to stay focused on the game. And Rubina says she's trying to stay away from Tucker, but it's hard. I mean, that neck massage and everything. Also, she says she's trying to stay away from him. She was all cuddled up on him later that same night. Come on, girl. So T-Core is encouraging Rubina, focus on securing your safety for this week first, and then you can figure out the Tucker chemo situation, right? Yeah. So T-Core also lets Rubina know if it's you and Cedric on the block, the votes are probably going to be close, but she says as long as you talk to the people that you need to talk to, you should have the votes to stay. And this is a lie. T-Core and Chemo are definitely planning to cut Rubina loose in that scenario. But T-Core is keeping the hope alive for Rubina. Yeah. Rubina also says she's hoping that if it is a tie, that Angela would break the tie in her favor. I honestly don't know because Angela, I've seen promise multiple nominees that she would break a tie in their favor. So there's no telling what she would actually do. But I do believe that Angela would be the one breaking the tie in that situation because Quinn has a regular vote this week to evict. So I guess Angela still holds that power. She's got something going for her here with this HOH. But later, Chemo and Quinn have a game chat. And this is another one that was like really hard for me to hear because I swear to God, the whispering, it's driving me crazy. Like, I don't know if these people ever talk at a normal volume. It's so hard to hear the whispers, especially with no flashback. So Quinn was telling Chemo, I'm not really sure if I can work with Rubina because she is so close to Tucker. And of course, Quinn and Tucker, they have their rivalry going. And Chemo's like, I get what you're saying, but also he's really worried that they are at the bottom of that collective alliance because they are. And Quinn's like, I didn't hear the lead up to this because this one was really hard to make out. But Quinn starts talking about how Brooklyn and Chelsea don't need any alliances outside of the collective / the Pentagon because they're just so well insulated right now. And I'm wondering if Chemo was asking, like, do you think we could, pull Chelsea and Brooklyn into a thing with Tucker, T-Core, and us, whatever, Rubina. And Quinn also mentioned something like that's too big. So that's kind of what I'm thinking Chemo was talking about. But Quinn also brings up how Chelsea was saying that they should vote out Rubina over Mackenzie if it's the two of them on the block. Uh-oh. She did say that the other day, and Quinn was all like, red flag, like, that's not gonna work, right? Because Quinn, even though he feels like he can't work with Rubina right now, he feels like if Tucker was eventually gone, he could get something going there. And he says, we need Rubina for our numbers. So then Chemo's asking Quinn for like what has to be the millionth time. Would you ever consider burying the hatchet with Tucker, but then like make it look like you two are still warring? Like, don't let people know that you're still working together. They've asked this so many times. It's exhausting. So Quinn is like, well, yeah, I could like maybe be into that, but he says it would have to be facilitated by Rubina. And for him to feel like Rubina and Tucker are like truly locked in, Quinn says we would have to expose the collective alliance, right? To make sure that our side is going to be solid going up against whoever's left in the collective. So he's like, I'm more than happy to stop targeting Tucker if I win HOH. But he's also like, I'm afraid if I make this deal with Tucker that I'm going to end up getting taken out, either by Tucker or by whoever's left with the collective. So it's not really going anywhere with that. So then Chemo and T-Core have a game chat. Whisper, whisper, whisper. And T-Core lets him know that the rest of the collective alliance, the other 5,000 members, were hanging out upstairs without the two of them. Ooh. And she's like, I was up there and they weren't really talking game because Angela was also there. They weren't going to talk game in front of her. But this does not make Chemo feel good. He does not like this. He feels left out. And he thinks that when it comes down to the collective, if they were to make it to the final 8 or whatever, he feels like he would be the first one out because he is at the bottom. And and T-Core's telling him, like, I don't think this was like a planned meeting or anything. Like, they were all just kind of chilling. But, like, that's part of the problem. There is that alliance within the collective alliance. They're not worried about, like, the whole collective meeting up right now because they know they don't need to do that. But Chemo's also worried that Brooklyn clearly told Chelsea about that 5 points alliance, but neither of them have told Chemo and T-Core about the Pentagon. So clearly, like, they're favoring the Pentagon. So Chemo's like, I'm ready to FSU. He wants to F shit up. He says if it comes down to Rubina versus Cedric, he's wanting to keep Rubina. He wants to vote out Cedric. And he's like, I want to spill everything about the collective and the Pentagon to both Tucker and Rubina. But he's like, I'm not going to do this without your okay, without you being okay with it. And T-Core's like, what's that going to do for us? If you spill all this information, what is that? How is that going to help our games? And Chemo says, it's going to blow things up because we are never going to be able to pull in Brooklyn and Chelsea as long as they are protected by the Pentagon, right? They are just so comfortable with that Pentagon alliance right now. And just a reminder, T-Core's ideal alliance would be her, Chemo, Rubina, Brooklyn, and Chelsea. But again, why are you so obsessed with working with Brooklyn and Chelsea? It's not good. It's not good for you. But Chemo also says, you know, if that alliance is blown up, we can also pull Quinn in tighter. And T-Core's like, you know, as much as I want to work with Quinn, she does not like the rest of the group that they would be left with if they were to blow up the collective alliance. She's like, I don't want to work with the showmans, Tucker and Rubina. It's just way too dangerous. They're going to have a huge target on them. Also, the other people that they would be left to work with, like Leah, Mackenzie, Angela, T-Core's like, no, I don't like this group. T-Core, stop trying to make Brooklyn and Chelsea work. It's not going to happen. But this was funny because Chemo got like all serious at one point and he was like, I think we should blow up the Pentagon. And I felt like I was watching National Treasure or something like that. I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence. But I was also like, oh my God, the fact that this alliance is named the Pentagon and he says he wants to blow it up. And this is going to be like all over Twitter. The FBI is going to be going nuts right now. So hopefully they figure it out quickly. It's an alliance on Big Brother. It's okay. But T-Core's like, before we do anything like that, let's talk to Quinn about it first and see what he says. Okay, Mom. Well, Chemo had some other ideas. He checks in with Tucker. Oh boy. And again, Chemo is asking Tucker this time, would you actually ever consider secretly working with Quinn? He says it could be a good move. You know, nobody would expect it. I don't even remember exactly what Tucker said. He did bring up like, Quinn put Rubina up on the block. So like, let's see how this whole vote works out this week. And then we'll figure things out. Chemo also drops that he thinks that Chelsea, Brooklyn, Cam, and Cedric could be working together. So he's not telling Tucker straight up, like, this is an alliance that you need to know about, but he is planting those seeds in the hopes that Tucker will dig a little bit further, right? So he did this without T-Core's permission. Meanwhile, Joseph was alone, monologuing to the cameras, and Joseph says, I don't effing trust Quinn at all. Oh, okay. I don't think Quinn realizes that that's how Joseph feels. But he says Tucker has really got to win this next HOH because if he doesn't, he's done. I mean, not necessarily. He could keep winning vetoes and the AI if they still have that, the AI competition. But Joseph is also mentioning he's really annoyed that Chelsea and Brooklyn aren't even trying to hide it anymore, how close they are. And he's pretty much almost ready to ditch the collective along with T-Core and Chemo, right? Have them go to the other side and work with Tucker full time. He's not there quite yet, right? He's got to see if Tucker can win this HOH. If not, maybe he doesn't ditch them yet. But yeah, Joseph is definitely scheming. T-Core and Quinn also have a late night chat, and Quinn brings up how Tucker was asking, or sorry, how Chemo was asking him if he would ever secretly work with Tucker. And Quinn's like, you know what? I just don't see a scenario where I don't end up going home if I decide to work with Tucker. He says this is only going to end poorly for me. So T-Core is just like, man, she wants them to have a brainstorming session with Chemo in the morning, and Quinn says he's down for that. So we'll come back to that. But this morning, Cedric was hitting the campaign trail. And honestly, his campaign was pretty basic from what I heard. He was basically just telling people, it's better for your game if I'm here. The biggest competitor this season, meaning Tucker, is coming after me. He's going to put me up. That's less of a chance on the block, right? That's one nomination chair filled. And Cedric says on the flip side, I'm also going to be going after Tucker. So do with that what you will. Again, pretty basic. Mackenzie and Rubina have also been campaigning today. I know Mackenzie's like, I could be winning competitions for you, whatever. I'll be a shield for you. There's a lot of shield arguments here. I haven't really caught as many of Rubina's campaign conversations. I did hear her talking to Angela at one point and asking if Angela would break a tie in her favor, and she said yes. But like again, Angela has promised multiple nominees that she would help them out in the event of a tie. So who knows? But the visionaries, T-Core, Chemo, and Quinn did end up having their meeting this morning. They confirm they want to keep Rubina if she's up on the block next to Mackenzie. But what if Mackenzie wins the AI competition? I forgot who it was. It was either Chemo or T-Core was asking that very question. And Quinn was like, I'm not even going to accept that like as a possibility. It's not going to happen. I mean, I feel like you should probably talk about that because there's definitely a good chance that Mackenzie could win. But during this conversation, Chemo was also pushing that he wants them to build an alliance with Tucker. No one would see Tucker and Quinn working together. No one would, think that that would happen. But Quinn is pushing back. He says that would require so much trust. And he was talking about how strong Tucker is in competitions. Like, what if they can't beat him down the line? Also, he brings up Tucker is such a volatile player. Any little thing could set him off and he could just blow up and call out our alliance. And then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Right. Also, Quinn is just really paranoid that this would put him in a spot for Tucker to sucker him. And then Quinn says, I would look like an idiot for trusting him. So this conversation goes on for a while. And afterward, I don't even know if it answered any questions. But after T-Core and Chemo were chatting again, and now they're not even sure still, like, should we tell Tucker and Rubina about the Pentagon or no? These two are so exhausting. I want so badly to root for T-Core and Chemo, but they are driving me insane. Not only with, like, the constant whispering, but also just, like, laboring over the same points over and over and over again. The indecisiveness. It's too much. They have all these plans, and then they don't act on any of them. They still haven't told... They said the other day that they were going to tell Quinn all about all the crap that Leah has been talking about him so that he would know, and they still have not done that from what I've seen. Are they ever going to do that? I don't know. But anyway, Quinn has a chat with Joseph, and Quinn spills that Tucker's side, his crew, want Quinn and Tucker to bury the hatchet secretly. And Quinn says, yeah, I'll go along with that plan, but I'm going to backdoor Tucker if I get the chance. And he says, Tucker, you shouldn't have to win every competition to stay in this game. He makes a comparison to season 14 with Frank and how Frank was just like winning a lot of stuff. But he's like, I don't mean to compare myself to Dan, but like, I'm totally going to do what Frank did or what Dan did to Frank. So Quinn is going around telling people, he's told Brooklyn this as well, that he's going to secretly get into this alliance with Tucker, but he says, I'm going to backdoor him when I get the chance. Great. Oh, God. Okay. Can Quinn just, like, not keep anything to himself? Like, you don't have to be talking about all of your plans to everybody. So, also, is he just going to lie to T-Core and Chemo, who are supposed to be his closest allies? Because I don't think that's going to go over well. Anyway, Angela and Tucker have a chat, and Tucker lets her know that the group from the other night that she was begging to work with, he says that group is down to work with her. They just have to get it all set up. Angela is skeptical. She feels really bad about barging in on them and begging the other night to work with them. She's like, honestly, if they don't want to work with me, that's fine. She says, as long as you and I are good and we can work together, I'm happy. She just wants her alliance, right, with Tucker. And Tucker's like, no, it's a thing. Like, we just haven't had a chance to solidify it yet. He's still trying to come up with some sort of name that has to do with fish, whatever, because they were talking about the fish tank that one night. But Angela's like, did I ever tell you like what happened the first time I was HOH? And she shares the story about how Joseph, Cedric, and Quinn came to her the night before the Crazy Eyes freak out. And they told her about this alliance that they put together without her that she was supposed to be a part of. And she's like, it was called the Collective. Oh my God. So she just like casually blurts out about the Collective. The thing that T-Core and Chemo have been agonizing over whether or not they're going to tell Tucker. Angela's just like, yep, they brought me into this alliance called the Collective. Little does Angela know that thing is still going with the same name, just without her. But yeah, Tucker now has that word in his mind. Will he explore this? Will he ask people about it? Will he ask Joseph about it? Because those two are super tight. I don't know. But anyway, Tucker is reassuring her like this alliance is legit. It's not going to be like the Collective. And she's like, I know. I'm not going to compare the two. I'm just saying like that happened to me. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see if Tucker does anything with that. It would be interesting. But we'll see what happens. So tomorrow is the next eviction. We'll have the AI competition to determine who the two nominees will be up for the vote. It's a very important HOH this week, right? And supposedly we're going to find out what the new twist is tomorrow as well. So we'll see what happens with that. If it's a good thing to be voted by America, who do you think is going to get it? I feel like it's going to be Tucker, right? I feel like everyone is going to want to see the drama. And I think that Tucker has a much better chance of winning than Angela. That's just my opinion. But that's what I see happening. We'll see what the power actually is, if it's a good thing or not. But who knows? If it's something about being an instigator, I feel like that has Tucker's name written all over it. But you never know what the TV-only viewers are going to do with this vote, because they do have the majority in the vote. But anyway, I want to thank you all so much for watching today. I'm glad that we didn't lose power. And I want to thank our super chatters because you guys are amazing. Shane Wright, thank you so much as always. B Tina, this is B Tina's 10th super on a live stream. Woo! And B Tina says, oh, hi. Great update as always. Thank you. Save Cedric and AI. Backdoor Tucker. Not backdoor Tucker. He's just been so entertaining this season. But I wouldn't mind seeing Cedric stick around. I think he's a bit naive, but I would like to see him continue to learn more about this game and see where he goes with it. Jack Testa, thank you so much. This is Jack's first super chat on live stream. Yay, thank you. And Jack says, coming to you from, oh my God, Australia. Yay. Long time, long time watcher, first time super chatter. Well, I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for watching all the way from Australia. That's amazing. Is it like, wait, you're like 16 hours ahead probably, right? So it's got to be very early. Right? I don't feel like doing the math right now, but oh my goodness, thank you for watching. Okay. Susie Fairfield also got thunder at the same time. Oh, I hope you're safe and sound inside. Thank you guys so much. We will be back tonight to talk about the 5:40 a.m. That's crazy. We will be back to talk about the episode tonight. So we'll see you there. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.